Let's take and do a little practical exercise based on the information we just learned here in section 1. This is the Python idle editor, and it works within the, well, this is the shell, I should say. So this is where we can type in commands to the Python shell and have them executed as we go. So we can take things that we were doing before. We can say 3 plus 4, just using Python as a calculator. And these are, I think that's the simplest way to look at this, is just it's functioning like a calculator. So 8 times 5 is going to be 40, and we can do division with 36 using a divided. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Now notice this is the floating point number now as a result of our division. That was one of the things that we learned in the lesson. Any kind of a division operation is going to produce a floating point number. We use order of operations, and we use parentheses to keep track of what we're doing. So 4 plus 4 divided by 2 is going to be 4. We can also utilize the print statement. Remember that the print statement is used to format output. You can shortcut things when you're doing this by not using it, but you may not always get the exact format that you're looking for. But remember to open your parentheses, and we get a little bit of a help that pops up to give us an idea of some of the things that we can put in there. For instance, it can be a sum value, it can be an actual operation, or we can start to do formatting things like the backslash in, and we'll cover a lot of that kind of stuff later. But initially, you can just go with your basic mathematical operations. 4 plus 5 is going to be 9. So that's an example of some of the mathematical things that we did in the earlier PowerPoint presentation. Remember, there's also your exponents, which with a double asterisk, 2 raised to the 8th is 256. You should remember that from our discussion on binary numbers. The concept of variables that we talked about. When you create a variable by assigning something into it, if I want to talk about a certain number of cats, then I can assign some value into that. Let's say we have 5 cats. So we're going to put the value 5 in the cats bucket. And if we print cats, then it will tell us what's in that bucket. We can also do calculations. We can do cats equal cats plus 4, add 4 more cats to the bucket. How many cats do we have in the bucket now? We have, oops, we don't want that. Get back over there. Have to remember our, let's see, moving backwards is, no, it's not Control P, it must be, I thought it was Alt P. Yeah, it is Alt P. Alt P will let you go backwards in your history, and sometimes makes life a little bit easier. So now I can print cats, and we can see that we have 9 because we had 5 cats in the bucket to begin with. So we took that and we added 4 more cats. So now we have 9. So again, simply creating a variable. Dogs and spaces aren't necessarily required here. If we have 3 dogs, and I don't even have to use the print statement if I don't want. I can just say dogs and it'll print out what's in there. So if we wanted to say fight, if we create a new variable called fight, we set it equal to cats plus dogs. How many things are going to be in the bucket fight or the variable fight? Cats plus dogs, 12. So you can begin to get an idea of the simplicity of this. It's not particularly difficult. You just have to go through some of the exercises and start getting familiar with some of the ins and outs of working within the shell here. Alright, so that covers a number of the things that we talked about. We'll let you experience some of the other things in the exercises.